we go again with another gambling scandal. And from the lack of reaction to mainstream media coverage, it appears that ESPN is doing a phenomenal job at keeping this story in the shadows. Unfortunately, though, for ESPN, Uncle KC has a very strong flashlight. Headline at Awful Announcing. Missouri Attorney General forecast lengthy investigation into Matt Miller. Translation: the government is coming for that fresh ass. Luckily for Matthew, investigators are allowing him to keep the money that he raised through GoFundMe. For those that don't know, Matt Miller is an NFL draft analyst and fantasy dork at ESPN, at least for now. My guess is Matt Miller's next job title will be unemployed. Last month, Matt Miller was involved in a major car accident. He crashed his Ford Bronco into an 18-wheeler. To my knowledge, alcohol was not involved. It was just an unfortunate accident. For some reason, probably greed, which seems to be a prevailing theme in Matt Miller's life, and as greed is known to do, it always catches up to you and takes a fresh bite out of your greedy ass. Matt Miller was seriously injured during the accident. So, in his infinite greed, he decides to set up a GoFundMe to help with his medical expenses. How greedy can you be? A couple of weeks ago, when we first covered the Matt Miller story here on the channel, a former employee at ESPN reached out to me to give me some insight on their salary structure. 20 years ago, the minimum starting salary for someone like Matt Miller at ESPN, $125,000 a year. Now, according to this former ESPN employee, Matt Miller was likely making $250,000, $300,000 a year. And I'm assuming he had health insurance through ESPN. So, why in the hell would he need your money? I cannot imagine asking you guys for charity that benefits me. The only thing I want is your attention, and I want to earn it. But the thing about greed tends to give you tunnel vision. It creates the illusion that the only thing that matters is you. A week or so after the GoFundMe campaign was launched, Matt Miller had raised over $50,000. Initially, I think the goal was $10,000. Then it was raised to $20,000. The more money that Matt Miller raised, the higher the goal went. But then, the campaign was abruptly shut down. Why? Because the consequences of the disease of greed finally caught up with Matt Miller. But before we go any further, let's get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. Mike is one of my longtime viewers. Throughout his life, Mike worked physical jobs, so he developed arthritis in his hips. Over time, the arthritis was bothering Mike so bad that he was having to sleep while sitting straight up in his recliner. One day, Mike heard Uncle KC talking about the efficiency of the CBD from Sugar Mountain Trading. He decided to give Sugar Mountain a try. Mike applies the CBD lotion every night before he goes to bed. He's finally getting quality sleep, and he no longer has to sleep while sitting straight up in his recliner. I got countless stories from viewers, friends, family. Initially, everyone is skeptical, but eventually, they all come back and tell me the same thing. They cannot believe this stuff actually works. And for all my ladies out there, Sugar Mountain just released this new Cashmere Beauty Bar. It's infused with 2,500 milligrams of CBD, but also hydrates your skin. My wife, she's been using this for about a month now. Absolutely loves it. What do you have to lose? Control your pain today by clicking the link in the description or the pinned comment below. Use my promo code BTL25, BTL25. Receive 25% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Matt Miller is currently under investigation for financial fraud in Missouri. Yesterday, The Athletic published an extensive report on Matt Miller. According to The Athletic, Matt is a hometown hero in Missouri. He donates school supplies to teachers. He operates charities. He provides winter coats to the freezing children. Oh, the children! It's all about the children. You know, this is a common tactic with those who are living wrong. Now, just to be clear, Matt Miller has not been convicted of anything yet, but people who are living wrong, they often disguise their transgressions through charity. They try to atone for their greed by being charitable with the money they confiscated. Look at me, I donate to charity. But oftentimes, the charitable actions are just a ruse, a disguise. It's a distraction. It's a carefully cultivated image to divert your attention away from what they're actually doing. Last year, Matt Miller was the commissioner of 91 fantasy football leagues. Now, for those that don't know, fantasy football is exactly how it's described. Fantasy, it's not real. In the WNBA, it's called make-believe basketball. But the way these leagues work, a collection of dudes pretend like they are running a football team. They call themselves coaches. They call themselves general managers. The winner of the league, they pretend like they are Super Bowl champions. I'm going to Disney World. I won my make-believe football league, and now I'm traveling to the world of make-believe to hold hands with Don Duck. A lot of fantasy football leagues are free to play. No money is exchanged. Outside of bragging rights with the collection of nerds in their league, the winner of the league doesn't win a damn thing. But there's money involved in some of these fantasy football leagues. Each player pays an entry fee, and the winner of the league wins the money. While the organizer of the league, who pretends he's a commissioner, which in this case would be Matt Miller, the organizer takes a fee for putting the league together. Now, according to The Athletic, Matt Miller had access to $100,000 last year in entry fees alone. No big deal, right? Supposedly, Matt Miller was running these fantasy leagues to benefit charity. I'm trying to help the needy. I'm trying to feed the children. Allegedly, the only charity that benefited was Matt Miller's personal bank account. A couple of months ago, lonely men on Reddit started complaining about Matt Miller. They were accusing him of not paying the winners of his make-believe football leagues. To make matters worse, Matt Miller was ghosting these lonely men. Now, on the surface, this doesn't seem like a big deal. Lonely men on Reddit, they are used to being ghosted by women, their parents, their automated girlfriend, who pretends to have a dead battery every time he's around. But Matt Miller, he was allegedly ghosting them because he didn't want to pay them the money they had rightfully won, which is a quick way to get yourself exposed. You see, the problem when you defraud gamblers, they talk. They don't abide by the code of omerta. On the surface, these allegations against Matt Miller, they don't make sense. Why would someone who's making $250,000, $300,000 a year, why would someone who's got a great job at ESPN, why would they risk all of that to make extra money defrauding make-believe football players? I'll tell you why. Greed. The only unbreakable love triangle is between greed, corruption, and gambling. Show me gambling, I'll show you greed, and along with greed comes corruption. This is a marriage that will never be dissolved. Anytime there is big money involved, there will always be temptation, and the temptation affects both sides. From a player's perspective, you're always looking for an edge. You're always looking for ways to tilt the odds in your favor. Your bankroll is never big enough. You can never have enough money because the more money you win, and the wins are always temporary, the wins are always brief, the more money you win, the more you risk. Now, from the book's perspective, you always need access to large sums of cash because there always comes a point, normally during football season, where you go on a 5-6 week stretch where your players can't lose. Why do you think NBA players who are making millions and millions of dollars every year, Terry Rozier made over $100 million in his NBA career, yet he was still fixing bets? Why? Corruption. The story is always the same. Oftentimes, NBA players, they are marks that get taken advantage of. They're gambling off the court. They can't do it legitimately because if they're caught, they'll get kicked out of the league. They inevitably lose. They go into debt, and instead of paying the debt, they're offered to work the debt off by fixing games, fixing props. And for some reason, the NBA, along with every other major league in America, they thought it would be a good idea to embrace gambling. ESPN did the same thing. ESPN has entire shows dedicated to gambling. They literally have analysts pretending to be gambling experts. They have analysts trying to influence their audience to lose their money. And all of these so-called gambling experts on television lose because the real experts, they're in the shadows. You'll never know who they are because they don't want the exposure. They don't want their secrets revealed because being exposed, it would cause them to lose their edge over the books. I'm sure Matt Miller was a good dude. I'm sure he's helped a lot of people in his hometown in Missouri. My guess is the locals are probably saying, "Not our Matty. He would never do that. He's swell." The disease of gambling is similar to drug addiction. There is no logic to the decisions that degenerate gamblers make. And wherever there is gambling, there is always greed and corruption. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.